Welcome. Long day at work, difficult times, but do we need to say more? Getting home and all you see is bad news, and we had to provide the solution. So my suggestion is glass of wine, kick off the shoes, and let's start. So the first day what we're going to do is we're going to start now with a cottage pie. And the reason why we're going to be doing a cottage pie is that it's a fast meal, it's a quick meal, it's a healthy meal, and something that you can take and you can use the following day. And just by changing one or two things, you've got lunch for yourself, your husband, your kids, and that's taken care of. And then surely the next day you buy the newspaper again, and there we are, back again, doing the second meal. So now, we're going to start now. We're going to be taking an onion, and all of this is done in proportion. So tonight, I'm going to be cooking for 4 people. So you can work out roughly how much you need. Initially, we're going to peel the onion. While I'm busy with this, I want you to understand that you don't always have to use the whole onion. You can always take half, put it back in the fridge, and use it for the next evening. So obviously, cost is a big point of this whole exercise. So we're going to show you how to cook healthy, cook great food, and save money and enjoy it. Okay, there goes the onions now. All right, just a nice rough chop onion. And normally this is the best time when hubby's on his way or the wife's on the way. You want to get home, so when they get home then the food is smelling good. Change people's attitude and make it worthwhile. But please just remember one thing: food has love, food has energy, and we want to put that back into our family. Gee. Okay. Now, as you can see, whatever I peel and clean in that, I put into a bowl. From the bowl, I use that as my stock for the following day. I'm a garlic freak. I love the taste of garlic. I know a lot of people don't, but if you do, it's really worthwhile. You can just cut it out. That is perfect. We've got a whole bag of baby marrows here. You don't need to use the whole bag. Obviously, like I said, the whole rotation of the food will go according to the meals. So whatever I cook today, and whatever is left over today can be used for tomorrow. Again, we're going back to cost saving, healthy, great, happy food. With the baby marrow, you're going to be noticing I'm putting the baby marrow in a different bowl. It cooks a lot faster, and we want to keep it nice and firm so it keeps its taste. Everything that I'm doing today is going to be a square cut vegetable for the presentation of the cottage pie. Now, I know there's going to be a lot of people out there who know better and think that it's not a traditional cottage pie. That's quite correct. We do live in Africa. So the cottage pie I'm going to be making, I'm going to call it the healthy cottage pie. Similar taste, similar look, but just full of flavor bursting with what's coming out. So I like to fry it with my onions, get that sort of glassy kind of taste. When I start frying the meat, it enhances the taste into the meat. Finish it off with a bit of water and spices and herbs. And there you go, you're ready to go. Okay, let's cut that in half. A lot of times people will turn around and say, while doing vegetables, the reason why the chefs cook so quickly is because we know how to cut and we know how to present everything, and that's not quite true. It's because we enjoy what we do. I mean, if you're going to get home and you're not going to like what you're doing, trust me, your food's not going to come out the way that you imagine it to. Okay, got carrots. I've also experienced that when people eat vegetables, the reason why they don't like it is because it's never been made properly. There we go. Jeez. Cheers, guys. We need this. Let's put all of this in here. Like that. Okay. Let me add in 2-3 mushrooms just to give it a bit of a different look and flair. This is beautiful. I'm putting it with the baby marrows because they're nice, soft and tender. We don't want to cook them away that you can't see it, then we actually just wasted our time. Now please, a big important part of what we're doing now is that when we're cooking your potatoes, the water that you use in your potatoes, we're going to take that water and we're going to use it to finish off the cottage pie. A lot of times people throw the water away. So instead of trying to put maizena or flour, which you do need, I'm not saying you don't need, but when you do put it in, just remember you've got natural starches right here in your potato that you can use, first of all, saving costs and keeping the health aspect together. There's one. Two. Through this whole series, you'll see today, I like to keep the vegetables in fried with the meat. When I do casseroles, which we'll do tomorrow, you'll notice that if you boil any veggies, I don't throw the water away. All the health, all the goodness, everything's in the water. And I mean, every bloody moron goes and throws it down the drain, which doesn't need it. Okay, perfect. Now, the smaller you cut your potato, obviously it's the faster it's going to cook. And I mean, unless you're a mad foodie, you didn't come home to spend the night cooking dinner. There we go. Nice square. Perfect. So now, as you can see, except for this that we're going to cook for the stock, we're ready to put everything together, fry it in the pan, put it into a casserole dish, into the oven, have a bath and have a great meal. Let's start the frying. Here we go. Now what I've done is already boiled the kettle, because again, the bath's waiting, our partner's ready, and even though it's not an anniversary or anything like that, we want to try and get as much as we can. As we discussed last time, I take all my peels, everything that I used, also put onto the flame there, boiling water. I want this to reduce, and this is going to be the stock that I'm going to be putting into our mince. So instead of grabbing water from the tap, anybody from Cape Town will appreciate this. We can use as much water that we're using in all the aspects, keeping the health in. All right? Here comes the fun part. Now please, you'll notice the oil that I use very little. And for now, the reason is that it's got to do with my wife's hips, and I want to keep them beautiful exactly the way they are. So no saturated fats in that. Now, that's going to start frying very quickly. Me personally, I would rather use the fats from the meat than use an oil in that to try and enhance and flatten the pan so that nothing sticks. A lot of what I've been taught and a lot of what I show in that is stuff that I've learned over the years while working for President Mandela. We've had numerous doctors worldwide coming to us. We've had acupuncturists and that about the health aspect. And everyone writes books, everyone has their own arguments and that. So please, I always win an argument with saying, in my opinion. So in my opinion, I believe that my food is healthy and it tastes great. Okay, now as you can see, it's about this time when those flavors start coming through in that. You'll normally find the kids run downstairs asking what's for dinner. Hubby or the wife will get off the couch. And this is the time where I believe is family time. The best time now, get the family around, pull in, speak about the day, bugger the series. You've got DSTV catch up, you can catch up on it. Let everybody enjoy and the build-up to making of the food. Obviously, if you're planning a party, you're doing anything like that, the biggest thing that you want to do is that you want everyone to be excited from the beginning. So for everyone to go to their rooms, do their things, come down, sit at a table and eat the food, you've lost half the war there. You really want everyone to be part of. Often when I get home and a long day, I get the wife to cut the onions, the son to cut the meat, the other son to do the vegetables, and it's a bit of a team effort. Yes, I put it together, but it's working together that makes it worthwhile. Okay, I wish the camera could smell what we're doing and we could pass this on, because this will be a winner. All your hard vegetables busy frying there right now. Push that down. Our potatoes are going. We're drawing all the goodness out of our stock right now. Perfect. You'll find that when you fry onions, your carrots and your beans and all your vegetables together, what we're trying to do is we want it to sweat. We want the natural salts and the flavors of the vegetables and the onions that to sort of be released, if I can put it in that kind of terms. And when it is released, it'll go into the pan, and just now you'll see around the pan here, it'll start forming like a bit of a brown stock. So that's exactly what we're looking for. So as per Parliament, our order of events now is we're going to make the mince. Once our mince is completed, we're going to take it, let it reduce down, and give us that beautiful texture that we're looking for at the bottom of a Corningware dish. While that's busy cooking, we're going to take the potatoes, bit of butter, salt, pepper, and milk, fluff it up. Now, you'll notice when I'm doing the vegetables, I don't like a smooth, puree, poeperag, in Afrikaans word kind of mash. I do a rustic, chunky mash that gives more texture. And I notice that when you put it on top of the meat and you start cooking it through, the flavors of the meat actually can go in to the mashed potatoes through these big chunky holes and gaps and everything else. There we go. Our carrots, our beans, our onions, and our garlic is ready. Popping nice in the pan. We could normally work on approximately about 100 to 150 grams of meat per person. I do it just a little bit over because of the next day. We don't want to have to cook something else and wake up early in that morning and then start cooking and making lunches and that. This is a simple thing. Because it's mince, you can have a bread, you can just put in the Tupperware. It's nice no matter which way it goes. But I try and break the clumps out so you get a smoother kind of mince. If you just leave it, you get these big balls of mince, no texture, tastes like boiled meat from another country far, far away. Depends on which dish I'm doing, but when I do dishes like this, I normally start salt peppering near the end of the frying process and that. I find that sometimes you put the pepper in too fast, it burns. Or if you put the salt in too fast before you taste it, you'll normally get you've over salted it. So we'll just use the natural flavors coming out. Okay, then we leave that for a few minutes to cook. We've got our stock going. Our potatoes are almost ready to make a mash. Okay, now while this is going, enough time to quickly run, hit play or pause if you're watching sports. Now I'm going to take our baby marrows and our mushrooms and just add, we just want to pull a bit of flavor out of there, not too much, obviously. Because if you overcook them, then they're going to go a bit soggy. Now a few little tricks and tips in that. Sometimes if you're cooking on a stove that doesn't quite reach temperature and you can't get rid of that water, just open up the middle like that. All what happens is your moisture is going to run to the middle there. It's going to evaporate a lot faster. Spice time. I like to add a little bit of tomato puree. Obviously this is very optional. When you're adding tomato puree, you always find that you get a little bit of a sour bitter taste. This is my secret. Brown sugar. I love it. I just put a little bit of brown sugar in there. Balsamic, also a chef's hidden secret. Brown sugar and balsamic, when you put together on meat, the way that it changes the flavors and it pulls out, it's incredible. Let's do a little bit of pepper. There is a rumor out there that if you eat too much pepper, it takes 7 years to go through your body. If that was the case, I'd look like a pregnant woman. I don't believe in that one. Salt. Nice and simple. What I'd like to do now is I want to add the water in here to combine. This is what's going to pull all the flavors together. So like I said, you can either go to the tap and just fill it in here, but I prefer to take the stock that I've made here. There we go. So we've saved water in the first place. Second place, we've kept all the goodness and all the flavors that we were originally using, and we've just taken it, put it right back into our pan that we're busy making. There we go. Can you see the white starch coming out of the potatoes? That's exactly what we're looking for. Okay. Now, whenever you're using tomatoes, whether it's fresh tomatoes, tinned tomatoes, pureed tomatoes, you'll see the oil will start forming on the top. To me, that's sort of your natural oil cooking through. That's when you know that your dish is coming to a complete. Okay. Now, we are making cottage pie, so we need to remember that we don't want to thicken it too much, because already if you thicken it too much, you're going to take the starch. It's already coming from the potatoes. It's going to cook through. It's going to over thicken your cottage pie. You're not going to get that saucy cottage pie. You're going to get sort of more like a quiche kind of flavors. Let's leave that to cook through. Now here's my potatoes. So from here, we're going to take a little bit of butter. You'll notice over the series that I love butter. Butter is absolutely fantastic. When I'm asked, is butter fattening? I always say no, it's other crap that you put on the bread with the butter that doesn't help. Okay, some milk. When I'm making the mash for a cottage pie, if I was making a mash that I was just going to be using on the side as a side dish or something like that, I salt and pepper and flavor it. Now obviously now, because all my flavors are in there, I'm not going to flavor this, because when the two flavors combine, you might find that you get something that's a little bit too over salty and not enjoyable whatsoever. Time for my rescue. Beef cube, fantastic byproduct. Full of flavor, similar to a Bisto, but just with salt in it. The reason why I like using beef cube, it adds to the flavor, and it hasn't got all that MSG in it, which to me personally kills the taste. I'm going to leave that to dissolve now. Salt normally takes roughly 30-40 seconds to dissolve into a dish. So what I laugh is how many times I get people that put salt in immediately and they want to taste it. It's not going to work. Okay. Now I'm starting with my mash now. Can you see as I'm doing it, can you see how I'm pulling out the starch? Starting to bubble. You've got your butter and your milk in there. I've also heard people like to use cream. The only reason why I don't like to use cream, it's a natural thickener. So while you're doing this, all you're doing is you're going to make the potato so thick that it's going to be difficult to put on top of the dish, number one. And number two, when you put it in your oven, you bring it out. It's when you dish up, it's almost like all you can do is get mash. It's going to stick to a spoon that you're not going to get rid of. Okay. Absolutely perfect. Okay. So we've got that rustic, chunky kind of mash. Let's bring our mince over here. A trick to this is that if you don't want sort of the Mediterranean kind of look and you want a kind of a dark kind of look, take a little bit of cocoa, about a teaspoon of cocoa powder, the one that you bake with, sprinkle it over here, put it in your mash, and you're going to get that brown, deep, rich brown gravy. Won't affect the taste, actually it enhances the taste. But before you do that, just try this recipe first. Right, let's build our cottage pie now. Nice thing with this dish, it's almost like doing it as a pressure cooker, because you're locking all your flavors at the bottom, using your mash as a lid. I'm feeling a bit pressured now. I can hear the wife calling me from the bath. I mean, what's better than beautiful wife at home in the bath waiting for you, eh? Especially with these flavors, and she knows that she's getting the spoil. Just pray my food's going to be great enough that I get my spoil too. Can you see that? Nice and tight. Taking the mashed potato now. Just taking it, putting it over the top. Get that down there. And there you have it, ready for the oven.